Have to do a risk assessment on this.
All right. Seems pretty risky, doesn't it?
Right.
So I'll just ask you questions and you can talk to me, and I got you basically from here to here.
Okay.
All right. So, first one, can you please introduce yourself, your background, and describe your role within EMAS?
EMAS, yes. So Jamie Marzoni, I'm the manager of the risk department at EMAS for the Gulf of Mexico region.
Okay. And I shouldn't have folded that up so quickly. In your words, why is quantitative project cost and schedule risk so important to project-intensive organizations?
So for project-intensive organizations, especially like ours, which we have mobile assets, vessels in the field, we need to know our schedule. We need to know when we're performing our activities, how long those activities are going to take. If the vessels are idle, we're losing money. If they overlap each other, we're going to have to decide that we might be in a liquidated damages situation with our clients. And so it's very fluid and dynamic. The project's delayed, they advance, and we need to have all these assets work together in a network to be able to deliver our projects to our promised budget to our shareholders. So managing these from a schedule and quantitative risk is mission critical to our business. And we need to be able to tell our board and our directors that this is where we plan to go in the next year. We're going to be a solvent company, we have orders coming in, and our business development people need to be able to say, yes, this vessel is going to be available for you next year, 2 years from now, and be able to be very dynamic in saying, we have a 3-week opportunity that we can give to you as a client, and we're not going to be able to risk any of these other projects by offering you that vessel.
Very good. So I'll make sure I got everything set right here. The sun came out just a bit. All right. Okay, the third one is project risk on the radar of executives at EMAS? If yes, how do you report risks to them?
Project risk has become a central topic around the senior management and our board of directors over at EMAS. Projects are being challenged now to really identify the risk and manage the risk at a higher level. That's why we're looking for a solution like Saffron to help us communicate what those risks are at a very high level to management, but granular enough so the managers know how they can affect risk, how they can mitigate those risks in better detail, and not just be a reporting tool, a bolt-on kind of item, but something that they can actually use to improve their project performance.
That's very good. Can I get you to do it one more time because of the sirens?
Sure.
I'll ask you again. Is project risk on the radar of executives at EMAS? If yes, how do you report risk to them?
Yeah. So in our current business climate in oil and gas, it's absolutely on their minds and executives today. We have some initiatives going through where executives have challenged their projects to make sure they uncover their risks and opportunities and report on those on a monthly or even bi-weekly basis to make sure that management knows that they're on top of the risks and opportunities that are affecting us. A little bit different.
Well, that's absolutely fine. How do you bridge the communication gap between very specialized risk professionals and executives who need leading indicators to help remove risks?
So the real question, I think, is between leading and lagging indicators, what are we using to manage risk at EMAS? And I think it's a very good question and really gets to the heart of matter of what we're trying to manage here. I'm starting a risk department here at EMAS. There's been a few months with a lack of risk direction and a risk professional. So we're having those communications with management from the top down to understand what the risks are, how do we manage risk, how do we report risk, but also with the project managers who need to own the risk and drive the risk and understand that the risk manager is a consultant to help your business improve, not the person who's managing the paperwork for you.
That's a good answer. Where do you see, or would you like to see, risk analysis tools going in the future?
So for me, risk analysis tools in the future is collaborative. It's getting the project teams to maintain ownership of those tools, to help the whole team, not just a select people of the team, contribute, to manage, and to be able to send that message up through the chains very transparently and almost seamlessly, almost ubiquitous in that communication. So anyone can go and look how is project XYZ doing? What are the main risk drivers? Are there something we identified at the enterprise level as a main risk already? Is this an impact to our project profit and loss, or is this actually an impact to our business profit and loss? Being able to go on a web, your phone, if you're off somewhere in Geneva, say, and say, hey, I'm inviting new shareholders to come, here's how we're doing. We've got our business managed well. That's where I see things going in the future.
Very good. All right, last question. For companies that don't have a risk process in place today, can you provide some basic guidance on what they need to do to get started?
It's another great question. That's where do we start? You know, a lot of people say if you don't know where you're going, you'll never get there. Once you know where you're going, you do have to figure out where to start. For any process, and I can speak to this working at EMOS, you kind of have to get into an organization, figure out where the organization is at today. Find out how people are receptive to the risk management process, where we're going, are we managing risk, is the level of understanding adequate to go on to the next level. Once you figure out where you're at, you need to figure out where you've been before you move forward. Take a historical perspective, figure out in the past, however many years of data you have we met our target objectives? Have we delivered on our promises to our shareholders and clients? Or have we missed it? And find out what that gap is. That gap will direct you to where you need to go in the future and how you might be able to best navigate to that future picture.
That's a great answer. Do you do a lot of PR type stuff? Really?
Well, I mean, I used to be in sales, so.
Oh, okay. You seem very natural. That's it, man.
I've done training in sales, and I've been beaten up by executives.